Ritt Momney is an indie-based solo project headed by Jack Rutter from Salt Lake City, Utah. Ritt Momney is probably my favorite local music discovery from my hometown. I found out about Ritt Momney through their song Something in General.
Tell me why I'm still in the same place I've been. I don't get as much help as I think I put in. There's no promise, I've heard that, but life can't outlive.
The song blew me away with its genre-bending production, self-aware lyrics, and the different movements to the song. I was especially surprised by the maturity of the songwriting from someone who was just around my age. The lyrics were very blunt and honest when talking about loneliness and depression. I'll be honest, I was not sure if Ritt Momney could follow up the song and keep the same level of quality. With his debut album, Her and All of My Friends, he surpassed all of my expectations and delivered one of, if not my favorite album this year. The album encompasses Jack's growing pains from the age of 17 to 19. One of those major growing pains being left with few friends because they went on church missions. By contrast, Jack started falling away from the Mormon church, and his reasoning is detailed on the emotional if the book doesn't sell.
I think I'm too smart for this type of love. I wasn't sent off, but straight to the ground. And I know God best is one with no crown.
The emotional and vulnerable singing pairs extremely well with the detailed and personal songwriting across the whole project. Aiden and I went to the listening party celebrating the album's release and met Jack beforehand. Jack has a quiet confidence and humbleness to him. Talking with him and watching him perform is a completely different experience. The live performance from Jack and the rest of the band, plus the atmosphere, resulted in the concert being one of my favorites I've ever seen. Ritt Momney's music is special, and I really hope that you check out this album if you haven't already. And I hope you learn a thing or two about one of my favorite newer artists. Here's our interview. Sorry the framing is kind of sucky, neither of us had a tripod.
It's funny, like, I'm, like, talking right now and even before the show, like, you're totally different, but when you, like, are doing your music live, you, like, tap into something completely different.
Yeah, I don't know, it's, I guess that's just kind of just how emotional it is.
Does it, like, take you to the memories or, like, the place that you were trying to write about? Like, obviously you're practicing,
Yeah.
but you can tell
Yeah.
there's a lot of emotion in the live performance.
Yeah, I think it does kind of, it is kind of like the focus on the lyrics that I have, and it is sort of like taking me back to those memories that like I'm talking about in the lyrics, but mostly I think like a lot of the emotion that like music will make me feel comes from the actual like the melody and the instrumentation and stuff, and a lot of the lyrics, like in what I write, a lot of the lyrics are more just like I'm trying to keep all like the thought out of it and like the planning out of it, and then just writing whatever like comes to my head, and then a lot of it is like realizing afterwards, like, oh, that's like, it's cool. It's kind of like I learn a lot of stuff about like kind of like my subconscious after kind of analyzing the lyrics that I've written before.
Like, when you're jamming with Jonas or, like, can you give me the name of all the band members?
Yeah, so Jonas plays guitar.
Yeah, he can play, like, he seems so musically gifted.
He's really, really good, dude. Like, he, when we were writing that 2 song together, like, he's never, like, played in a band before this, but, like, he's just been doing, like, guitar lessons ever since he was, like...
He's, like, one of those kids
a baby or something. Like, he knows all of the stuff.
Like, he played comp soccer with my cousin.
Oh, yeah.
He's, like, one of the best players there. He's, like, did something as a kid. Like, I was just goofing off. Like, I wouldn't take it back, but now it's, like, all coming... Like, he can do what he wants.
Yeah, no, he's one of those people that just, like... he can get into something and like care about it, and he's just good at it. So yeah, he knows his stuff for sure. Yeah, and then Noah plays bass and the synth over there. And then Sam Olsen plays the drums. I think, like I've said before, like at least for me, all of the music theory stuff that you can learn about, like, it doesn't really, like for me, learning more stuff about all the technicalities and everything, it kind of just makes it harder to just like throw stuff out there, which is like the easiest way for me to do it. But like especially with melody, like melody's one of those things that you kind of want to just say whatever you or like sing whatever you hear in your head, like according to the chord progression. Like I tried really hard not to overthink any of that stuff, because like if it sounds good to me, then it's gonna sound good to other people, and that's just like there's a ton of like science behind that with like the sound waves and everything, but like I don't need to learn about that.
Even before I met you, and I just really listened to the lyrics, listened to the emotion. In a way, I feel like I know you, because you have like, I don't know, you seem really laid back as a person, just like, we'll go with it.
Yeah.
But in your music, there's just so much emotion. Like, especially like if the book doesn't sell, I know exactly how you feel about that, because you worded yourself really well.
Thanks. I there have actually been a bunch of people that have been like, I like went through that exact same thing, and like I think it's a really like a universal feeling, and like everybody, most people I think have been, like religious people even, and especially people that aren't religious anymore, have been through some degree of that. It's just like, like of course there are going to be doubts about it, even in the people that that believe it the most, but
and I can tell I'll ask. You don't have any, like I have some friends that just like hate the church, and I don't feel that at all, because it's just good and bad. And I feel like you're just like, hey, it's not for me.
That's like exactly how it is. Like at first it was kind of like I felt some, like looking back on it now, I realize that I just kind of felt some sort of pride about it, like, oh, I'm like smarter than all these kids that like still believe in it, and like I figured it out and they haven't yet. But then I talked to my parents about it a lot and everything, and it's like they, as like active members in the church, they told me they reminded me of like all the good stuff.
Like Wormwood, you're talking about like your grandma who passed away, and you're on the phone with his like I guess it's your uncle.
Oh, it's my dad.
Your dad?
Yeah.
And like you heard like his voice, and it was like crying like came through the phone. Like I can see like you're just hanging out with your friends, going for a drive or whatever, just goofing off, having fun, and it's like, whoa. Well, I've never heard my dad like this.
It's that was one of those songs that kind of just like came from feeling, and I think it does get kind of darker. The way that I kind of tried to organize it, because like it may have been a better way to organize it, to like put out an album or like an EP that was like about like my girlfriend and all my friends leaving, and like, because that's kind of the first half. The first half is a lot more like problems that are like right in front of me, and like I understand them a lot better. The second half is more problems that I just like kind of have no idea.
Like the last third of the album seems like you're ready to do something about it, and you're thankful for everything that happened to you in this like 2-year span.
Yeah. I think something that kind of comes out in my music that is kind of like reflective on just like my personality is just kind of like a passiveness that's kind of just like it's kind of like I'm not really gonna give any like really strong opinions on anything because strong opinions usually end up like wrong more often than not. And like if you're kind of just like like it's kind of you're never that wrong. But yeah, I think it may be like less appealing to people. It's like a lot of songs like coming out right now are like just like one idea and they're like, alright, I'm going all the way on this idea and like I'm pounding this idea into the ground. But I think in a way the passiveness, it's kind of like, I don't know, like maybe this is right, maybe this is wrong. That's kind of more relatable.
Yeah, because you come to like, you never come to like a big like conclusion. It's just like, that's kind of how it is for me right now.
Yeah. It was never really meant to be like a big statement album. It's sort of just like a journal, I guess. And like it would be cool to be able to like read back through your journal and see like oh yeah, this is exactly what I got from all of these experiences. But like that's just not usually how it is. Like it's more this is what happened and like it could mean this, it could mean this. Like maybe this will come from it, maybe this will, and it's just really like looking back on your past is a lot more ambiguous than it can seem a lot of the time.
You use like these different metaphors, especially like trees, soil, flowers is like something bigger than you, but you use it especially, I think, you use it throughout the album. Like you just say one word to connect to the last song.
Yeah.
But it's like a continuation. It's like a non-linear story.
That's like not even like intentional at all. Like it's kind of, I guess it's sort of like the whole like art mimics life sort of thing. Like it's like you, if I were to like really structure that and say, okay, yeah, this is like this artistic connection I'm gonna make right here, and like that'd be cool to have like trees be like a theme throughout the album. Like that would be like that's one way to do it for sure. Like I'm not knocking people that do that and really like plan everything out, like but for me it just it's kind of just easier. It takes less thought. It's like my subconscious doing more work than my conscious mind. Cool to like look back at it and like sometimes it feels like I'm analyzing.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't really feel like I'm analyzing my own stuff. It's like reading into someone else's mind.
Because you make art for yourself. You said it like a disclaimer. But it's like I have a connection to it. People that come to your shows have a connection to it. Especially like that listening party. Like there was this atmosphere of they're really listening, and you didn't have any moments where you're like, this is what this means, this is what I was feeling. Like you could. Yeah. That'd be cool, but you didn't have to because your music speaks for you.
Yeah, I think Just because, like everybody loves to generally everybody loves to find differences between, like, them and other people, and, like, but really, like, relatively, we're all, like, our minds all work in, like, a really similar way. So, like, if I'm just kind of, like, saying, like, how my mind works, it's kind of, like people are probably just going to relate to it by default, just because their minds work in a really similar way. A lot of the time, it's just, like, I'll go and, like, sit at my piano upstairs usually, and I'll just kind of, like, I'll get into, like, a zone kind of where, like, I'm thinking, like, freely and stuff, and if I'm not in that zone, then I usually just can't write anything at all. But usually I just put it all down, like, when I'm saying, okay, I'm like writing something now. Usually it does come from, like, I decide to go and sit down and write something when I feel like I should go write something. And, like,
you
when
don't
I'm, like, moved to write something, but
you don't, like, just sit 8 hours at a time, just sit at the piano and just hope something comes.
Yeah, definitely.
Everyone gets, like, these feelings, but it's just depending on acting them. Because I get feelings to write something all the time, but sometimes I don't, and I forget my own ideas. It's just gone.
Yeah.
Because I had my friend Leroy, I was talking to him about music. He's like, why don't you interview artists? I'm like, oh, who am I going to interview? And I was like, I DM'd you, like, a year ago. I was like, something, Joe, I didn't do anything about it, but I had never heard of you guys. I don't know who showed me that song, how I got to it, but I was like, what the hell? These are really good. Like, I didn't know if you, like, you had prior training, and it's not like you don't.
Yeah.
But you just are learning as you go.
Yeah.
And it's, like, it kind of sucks for other people, but it's like a gift for you. Because you're making, I don't know what your financial situation is with the music, but it seems like you're very, very determined to make a living off of this.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Like, it is hard to find the balance, though, between, like, hard work and, because for me, like burnout is such a huge thing for me, like, in everything I've ever done. Like, I just, like, burned out of school, and then I just did awful from then on. And then I like, I've burned out of, like, some of the jobs I've had. I had some, like, pretty bad burnout towards the end of this album, when I was just, like, producing stuff, and it was all the science aspects and none of the art aspects.
Yeah.
Like, that, I can't work too hard. This album, like, I think I have been a lot, like, happier lately, and I think a big part of that is, like, that I've organized all my thoughts, like, into this album, and, like, I think it would be about the same way if it had, like, 100 listens or whatever.
I wanted to talk with you because I genuinely think you'll blow up at some point.
Yeah, I think just the way it is today is, like, it totally can happen overnight, and just the right person listens to it one time and is in, like, the right mood to, like, really like it or whatever. It's just, like, a lot of it is, like, up to chance.
Your Instagram page, so, like, you singing in front of the piano or something. But, like, my cousin, he was like, I need a version of Phoebe on the piano. I even like it better than the album version. But it's just, like, sharing those little things. People really feel like they're getting an inside look into you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I try not to take, like, marketing or like branding approach to it, because like people aren't even into that. There is like the relationship that like an artist has with their fans, and I don't think that should necessarily be like a completely one-sided relationship. Like,
like I'm sure you've received countless, like a lot of DMs of people like, I love this song.
Yeah, and like it's like trying to like go through those and respond to all of them. It's not necessarily like something I'd love to do. Like, it's kind of like I really appreciate it, but it's not like I'm like, oh, I can't wait to go and like respond to these DMs.
Yeah.
But I think the relationship that, like, I think artists should be expected to like give something back to their fans, like kind of like not like I wouldn't do this with my music, but like I think it's sort of like my responsibility, not like a responsibility, but I think it's just like nice for the fans to kind of like see what they want to see like on social media, and like they're like, oh yeah, I want to like get more involved and like know more about this artist. I want them to be like posting on social media like about their life and stuff, and I think it's kind of like they're like paying the bills and stuff, like they're supporting me in a bunch of things, and I think like it shouldn't all just be like me going through and doing exactly what I want to do all the time, and like it shouldn't all be like I'm just gonna live my life, and if you guys like it then you can, and like I think artists should kind of give back to their fans in some way.
This is kind of chronological, just how you felt at that. Like, you took a snapshot of your adolescence in a way. You're 17 to 19. Just like, have you listened to American Boyfriend by Kevin Abstract?
I don't think I've listened. Is that like the album? Or like
the album.
Yeah, no, I haven't listened all the way through, but
because
I've listened to a lot of it for sure.
Obviously, it's different from what you're doing, but I get the same feeling. Like, I'm like, wow, Kevin captured his adolescence a lot different than. Yeah. But you captured your own, like, growing up period, the growing pains.
Totally.
You just did it for you.
Yeah. It's kind of just, it's like super fun for me. I love to do it, and it's super awesome that like so few people in the world can like make money off of the things that they really love to do. So yeah, I'm like super grateful for how it's been going, and yeah, it's been awesome for sure.